Ok.
Hola.
Hola, estamos un poco nerviosos, pero también muy emocionados de presentarles el día de hoy nuestro hangout con Tonya Hurley, que nos está acompañando desde la ciudad de Nueva York. Aquí, de este lado de la pantalla, estamos Erik.
Hola, yo soy Erik del canal Erik Regala Palabras y pues bueno, creo que puedo hablar por los dos al decir que estamos muy emocionados de platicar con Tonya. Y bueno, pues, ¿tú te quieres también presentar?
Claro, bueno, mi nombre es Estela y tengo una página que se llama Entíntame Otra. Y pues bueno, sabrán que somos como unos grandes apasionados de los libros. Y el día de hoy que tenemos esta gran oportunidad, la verdad no podemos esperar más que recibir sus preguntas. Tenemos ya muchas aquí con nosotros que le estaremos haciendo llegar a Tonya. Y pues nada, comencemos. Tonya, we are like live now with all your fans. So do you want to say hello to them?
Hola, hello everyone. Thanks for joining.
It's been a while since the last time that you were here in Mexico and in Latin America. So can you tell me what's the... Oh, sorry. Can you tell me, what do you miss the most about your Mexican fans, your Latin American fans?
I miss them very, very much. They have no idea. I love it there. I love the people. I love the readers. I have friends there now who were readers, now friends, and the restaurants, the churches, the shopping, everything. I make it no secret that I am completely inspired by Mexico, and so is my work.
Yeah, we can tell because The Blessed has a lot of things related to Mexico, the culture, and even the religion.
Yes. Yes, I have my Mexican milagro necklace on right now.
It's a beautiful piece.
Did you when you were here?
Did I buy? Yes. Yes, I buy everything when I'm there. I just love it. They're true artists there, and the people, even my readers, they are just the most creative people in the whole world. There's so much talent there in that country. It's unreal. As soon as I step off the airplane, I get inspired. No joke.
Then you have to come soon to visit us.
Mm.
Do you have any plans for a book signing here? That's the most popular question.
Yeah, you know, that's up to my publisher. So whenever they invite me, I come. I've never once said no. And I encourage other authors to go to Mexico. They ask me how it is, and I encourage all of them to go. I'm very proud of that, actually, that I've been able to, because I think I've been going the longest probably than a lot of my colleagues. So they ask me all the time, what's it like there? Should I go? And I'm, yes, don't even hesitate. Get down there. So yeah, as soon as I'm asked, probably, I guess, maybe for Feather Vein, my book that I'm working on now, and the Ghostgirl movie, probably, I would love to come back. I would love to come back anytime.
Perfect.
Bueno, nos cuenta rápidamente que le gusta mucho México, que le inspira mucho, que quiere muchísimo a todos los fans de Latinoamérica y que espera regresar muy pronto, que tal vez para el siguiente libro venga a visitarnos.
Esperemos que así sea. Tonya, for my first question, I have Jimena wants to know, how do you get inspiration for the trilogy of the Blessed?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you. Do you hear us?
Yeah, about inspiration?
Yeah, inspiration for the trilogy, The Blessed.
Okay, well, actually, I was in Mexico, and and you know, I was seeing a lot of art, the Sacred Hearts and the Milagros, and visiting churches. And I was raised Catholic. I don't practice Catholicism, but I was raised Catholic, and so it just got me thinking about martyr stories and how these were probably the first young adult stories that we really have. And these girls were 12 and 13 and willing to die for what they believed in, and they were seen as passive characters, but I saw them as pretty kick-ass. So I wanted to bring them into the modern world and explore how they would be today. And there were a lot of characteristics of superheroes that they had. Saints have superhero characteristics. So they not only were the first young adult stories, but the first superhero stories that we have, really. They can levitate, they can levitate, they can bilocate. I mean, everything that's in the Blessed, they can do. I didn't make anything up there.
Bueno, Tonya nos comenta que sus personajes, como ustedes sabrán, tienen muchas características de superhéroes, a pesar de que son santas, y pues estas chicas quiso traerlas al mundo real y dotarlas de todas estas características para que justo fueran atractivas y también retomar muchos elementos de la cultura mexicana, como lo son los milagros y pues sí, algunas cositas de religión.
Tonya, another question that I think it's really, really interesting. Also, Jimena asks us, which is the perfect soundtrack for this trilogy? And also, I'm very interested in this answer because I think it would be really amazing to read the books with a soundtrack background.
I'm sorry, I did not hear that question. Can you repeat that?
Which is the perfect soundtrack for this trilogy?
What's the perfect soundtrack?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Geez, I don't know. I mean, I used the Pretty Reckless in the trailer, in the Passionaries trailer, with Taylor Momsen's Blessing. So I think that would definitely go on, and the Depeche Mode song Flies on the Windscreen would go on there. The Cure, Faith, the song Faith, which I had lined up to do a Hallowed trailer. I got The Cure's blessing to use that track, but I haven't gotten around to making the trailer yet, so I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I could go on and on and on. Maybe I should post one on the Facebook. Yeah. That's a good idea. Or send me yours, then I can listen to it.
That would be great. For the next question, I have Margarita. She wants to know if there is plans of making a film of the Blessed. Are you working on that?
On a film of the Blessed?
Yeah.
No. There is a film going to be shot next year of Ghostgirl. But the Blessed, I am writing a TV pilot right now for the Blessed, but I'm not sure. I'm just doing that because I really would like to see these girls live on TV. I think they belong there. And so we'll see what happens with that, but there are no actual plans for the Blessed right now, other than me writing a TV pilot, which I'm having a lot of fun doing.
In terms of Ghostgirl, now that you mention it, are you ready to become like a rock star? Maybe somehow like John Green?
No. I don't know if John Green was ready. I just think the thing that, I mean, the thing that we get to do, the cool thing is we get to write more stuff. And that's our goal. It's not about being a rock star or anything like that, because for the majority of the time we're alone writing, and that's what we like to do. And we do love to meet our readers. That's our treat at the end of a project. That's what we get to do. But I mean, at the end of the day, success is being able to write more books. So.
And you're writing a new book.
I am writing a new book, yes, called Feather Vein, which will be out fall 2017. And it's a little more like the Ghostgirl books. She's a little younger, and it's dark. It's a dark fairy tale about a girl who has a strange relationship with birds. So I'm very excited about that.
That's wonderful, because we have so many fans of the Ghostgirl saga, so that would be great for them.
Yeah, I have a little feather here, gold tip.
Like
on my dress, it's been dipped in gold, so I'm writing Feather Vein with this now.
You're like really prepared for everything.
Yeah.
Well, Jimena also, I think she has really interesting questions. She asks, for a young aspiring writer, do you have any advice?
Yeah, right. You know, it's the hardest part about this whole thing is sitting down and doing the work and writing. It's hard work, you know, to sit there and make yourself sit there. And you know, write every day if you can. As much as you can, write anything. And if you're hired to, I've been hired to write so many different things in my career. I've never said no, because it's always an opportunity, and it's something that you know, you can learn a lot every day. You never really know exactly how to approach something. Every project's different, so writing every day and practicing.
Well, I wanted to know, do you have a writing process?
Not really a process. I'm a very visual writer. I think my books, because I was a director, or I do direct sometimes, my books have a very visual. And Ghostgirl started out as a feature film script, so I kind of write things out as if they were a movie first. Not a full script, but I mean, in Ghostgirl's case, it was a full script, but I do write in a way where it's more visual. So I will look at art. I will look at fashion. I will do all those things to kind of get a visual feel for the characters and exactly what they look like and what they'd be wearing. And I get very excited over details like that. So yeah, I guess that's the biggest difference, I think, with me.
Great. Well, also, what was your biggest fear when you started writing?
Well, I don't know if I had a fear. It's just something I needed to do. I mean, it's terrifying when you put a book out. It's just terrifying every single time. You know, I don't care who you are. It's just terrifying. It's horrible. You know, I just lay in bed the day a book is released and just, you know, with the covers over my head. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think it can be scary. It can be quite scary to put something out in the world that you love so much, and you hope other people respond to it and maybe you're inspired by it. I mean, that's the goal. So yeah, you have to take that part pretty serious, I think, to be an author. You have to love your work. Yeah. Which
Tonya, taking into account that you have a relationship between your work as a writer and your love for art, we can tell by the covers of the books and the painting on the wall behind you. Can you tell us more about that relationship? How does it work?
Yeah, well, first of all, I am dying to get those covers, those Mexican covers in my hand of those editions. Those were my dream. And I am dying to get them. So any day I'm told I'll be receiving them. And I might weep. But yeah, I like to find artists. For Ghostgirl, I pretty much had everything in place for Ghostgirl, the art and everything, before I even submitted the book. And for The Blessed, I found an artist in Lithuania who I fell in love with, and one in the UK who did the interiors. So I love to be part of that process.
Okay, great. Bueno, nos estaba contando Tonya un poco de la relación que tiene con el arte y sus libros. Nos estaba diciendo que justamente tienes muy buena relación con algunos artistas y que incluso ellos fueron los que se involucraron en el proceso creativo para crear las portadas tan hermosas que tenemos aquí en México de la saga The Blessed.
Well, and now that you mentioned Ghostgirl, Crystal asks if the ship of Tate and Petula is going to be back anytime soon.
The what? I'm sorry.
The ship between Tate and Petula.
Oh, the relationship?
Mm-hmm, like the couple. is
Yeah,
going
the
to be back?
couple of Tate and Petula will be back. You mean
Apart
if
from the movie.
Oh, for the movie? Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. The script was just finalized, but I'm not allowed to say anything, I don't think. But, you know, hopefully I will get to write another Ghostgirl book. I would like to do that.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll continue it there.
Tonya, I was asking you earlier, but I wanted to share this question with our audience. Who's your favorite character from The Blessed?
Yeah, I think Cecilia is probably my favorite because she, I guess she's most like me in the way that when I moved to New York City, I was on the music scene, that gritty kind of music scene, and all that happens there. So she's probably most like me and probably my favorite in terms of fashion and how she acts and who she is. But I do, Lucy sort of resembles, when I was a publicist, the famous actresses that I was handling, and that whole, you know, idea of fame and being seen. So she's probably a close second, I guess. And then, but I can't leave out Agnes. I mean, Agnes is Agnes. She's love, right? And she's beauty. So I don't know if I could pick one. Just talking out of my answer.
Yeah, the three of them are great. They have very good characteristics.
Thank you so much.
So would you say that Lucy is like a mix of a lot of artists?
She's like a mix of a lot of actresses, yeah, that I've known. Yeah.
Bueno, nos cuenta que Lucy, el personaje de Lucky Lucy en los libros, es como una mezcla de muchos actores y actrices que ha conocido, sobre todo cuando ella era publicista, y como que toda esta idea de la fama y de ser visto y de tener esta atención sobre ti.
For my next question, I have Naharia Farias. She wants to know, when is your birthday?
September.
This is kind of a mystery because everyone is wanting to know the date.
The date of my birthday? September 20th, 1970. And I'm an identical twin.
Yeah, and you're actually working with her in a museum, I read.
Yes, we have a museum in Brooklyn, and we're also working together on some film TV projects too, so. Some dark projects. She has a dark personality as well.
We have seen those pictures of the museum and the projects, but we want to know more about it. Can you tell us, I don't know, there's going to be an exposition soon about an author, about a character of, I don't know, of the terror scene?
A character of the what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Scene, maybe? I don't know, Dracula or one of those characters?
In regards to my next book or my next work, or I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm sorry, related to your museum, related to this, the expositions and everything.
Yeah, I do use morbid anatomy as a scene in I think it's Passionaries in one of the ecstasies. But yeah, maybe we'll see. That's definitely something I've been thinking about, but I'm just I need to finish Feather Vein first before I start something else. So, but maybe we'll see. I would love that.
Well, Margarita asks us if you had any kind of fear or were you scared to include religious references in your books?
Yes, I mean, I tried. They aren't religious books, but they do deal with religious topics and themes. And so, yes, I was fearful for a young adult audience, but I thought that they might be ready for this because, I mean, look at what's happening and what has happened in fashion and American Horror Story and things like that. And I kind of wanted to do something about, because I'm inspired by it so much, something about Catholicism, but also to kind of turn it on its head a little bit to say, you know, these are books that are about faith, but they're more about faith in yourself and not something else. And you don't have to look for anyone else to save you. You can save yourself. So they're not religious. They're religious in kind of the religion of me, you know, the kind of the worshiping of yourself first and foremost before anything else. But yeah, I think it scared a lot of people, but I mean, if they read the books, they'll find what actually is going on. So it's different. It's original, and I don't like to write books that other people write.
Well, taking into account the theme that you use for writing Ghostgirl, yeah, it's like a total different world.
Yeah, I mean, when Ghostgirl was when Ghostgirl was first released, when I was writing Ghostgirl actually as a film, it was rejected. I mean, Robert De Niro's company optioned it, but it was rejected by Dimension Films because they said, "Oh, we love this story, we want to buy it, but you know, there's just one small change." And I was like, "Well, okay, what's that?" And they said, "Well, she can't die." And I said, well, then you don't love the story because that is the story. So instead of making that change, I took it. I didn't have money at the time, but I just could not sacrifice that aspect. That is the story. So, and that's when I wrote it as a book, and that was my first foray into writing books.
Are you planning more books about Ghostgirl?
I would love to do more Ghostgirl books. I guess we'll see when the movie is being shot. If there's opportunities there, I would love to. I love those characters. I love them to death.
Did you have a date for the movie?
No, it's going to be shot next year in Toronto, in Canada, so where most movies are shot these days.
Fans de Ghostgirl, tenemos buenas noticias. La producción de la primera película comenzará este año en Toronto, así que esperemos muchas fotitos muy pronto de Charlotte y de todos nuestros personajes favoritos.
Well, another question is, which book was the hardest to write?
All of my books are The Blessed. Well, it would be. I think the first Blessed book was the hardest to write. Because I was getting to know the characters, and I wanted to do a lot of like an origin story, like a lot of details about who they were, so that the next two books could go pretty fast, and the reader would be willing to go along because they really know the characters. So I think the first book was probably the hardest to write.
And okay, Jessica wants to know if you have something to inspire you for writing.
Art. I mean, really, music. I am a music person. I listen to all types of music, and I get really excited about new bands and new artists. So yeah, that's how I get charged up, I guess.
What kind of bands do you like, or what kind of music?
I like alternative music. I like punk. I like dark wave. I like new wave. I like I like that type of music. But I will listen to anything. I studied classical and jazz in college, and I played drums in a punk band, and so yeah, I listen to lots of different kinds of music.
Nos contaba Tonya que su música favorita es la alternativa, pero que realmente escucha de todo tipo de música, que incluso tocó la batería en en una banda, entonces.
Told that Harry Styles' mom is a huge fan of the Blessed Books. So she started following me on Twitter. So that I was like, I asked my daughter, I was like, hey, who's Harry Styles? And she was like, her hands and walked away.
I can imagine her excitement about it.
She doesn't care. She just was upset that I didn't know who he was.
Oh, God.
But now,
Yeah, now I do. Well, this was also, you know, the beginning of the Blessed Books. So it was like 2012 or 11 or something. So, yeah. But now they're not in a band anymore, so.
Tonya, do you want anyone in mind for the character of Sebastian when you were writing?
Not really. I just wanted him to be this kind of sultry, sexy, strong guy, mysterious, very mysterious. That guy that you like, the forbidden apple that you shouldn't want, but you do. So.
yeah, I don't want to spoil anyone, but did you have in mind the end of Sebastian while you were writing it, or did it suddenly happen?
I had it in mind, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't. And then I was like, I have to do what needs to be done here. And also in my books, you know, usually and in life, I think, and in religion, the people get stronger after death. You kind of make up stories about them. You only remember the good, and they get more powerful. And so I thought, like, I could really bring him back in ways that he could come into, you know, Agnes's bedroom at night. He could do many more things than in the living body. So I wasn't afraid of him. Am I allowed to say it? About so much, and I thought, wow, that would be really a real challenge for me as a writer if I did that, and so I did. I like to do different things. I like to do new things, and that was I know I didn't make a lot of people happy by doing that, but I think it made for a good story.
Nos contaba Tonya que ella ya tenía en mente el final de Sebastián desde que empezó a escribir el libro, que no era algo fácil, pero que tuvo que hacerlo, que a veces las cosas tienen que ser hechas, y pues que tenía muchas ideas para que regresara, no sé cómo decirlo sin spoilear mucho, pero sí que a veces las cosas tienen que ser hechas y que a ella le gusta hacer cosas diferentes en sus libros.
Well, Diana wants to know, Margarita. Margarita says hi, and she is from Bogota, Colombia. She wants
I loved it there.
She wanted you to know that Dia de Muertos, one of your Ghostgirl books, is her favorite. And she wants to know if you are planning to do something else if you want to do something else with the Ghostgirl saga.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to write more books, possibly, you know, around the movie. Yeah, definitely. But I loved writing that book. I loved exploring the culture. I loved exploring the holiday. I now celebrate it in my own home. We do it at the museum. I really, I wrote that book before I got to experience it in Mexico. So I wrote it based on articles and news pieces, but when I got to really go there and take the boat to the islands and stay there all night and really experience it, and you know, the dead bread and everything, I absolutely fell in love with Mexico all over again. It's why I love that country. It's just so beautiful. It was so beautiful, the flowers and the emotions and the food. It was just so beautiful. I think that might be my favorite book because of that.
Great. Also, Margarita asks that if you were inspired by any other country of Latin America, especially Colombia, but I would add if you were inspired by any other country, not only Mexico.
Yeah, I'm inspired. I'm inspired. Wow. I get inspired by everywhere I go. I mean, I loved Colombia. I went to the Salt Cathedral in Colombia when I was there. I didn't have much time there like I do in Mexico. But yeah, I mean, I get inspired based mostly by the people I meet, in the signing line, and I try to take my time with everyone. And so yeah, I was definitely inspired in Colombia, for sure.
Tonya, as a young adult writer, you have thousands of young adults following you, and I wanted to know if you have like a description of yourself when you were a teenager.
I was a very rebellious. I colored my hair purple. You know, I was in a punk band. I was kind of wild, but I didn't do anything. I mean, I did crazy things, but I never hurt anybody, and I didn't. You know, I wasn't breaking any laws, but but I did. You know, I rebelled a lot, and which kind of made me popular. So it backfired. It backfired on me a little bit, but yeah, I think I was like Scarlet in high school, and from the Ghostgirl books.
Tonya nos contaba que cuando era joven podrían ubicarla un poco con la imagen que tenemos de Scarlet, de Ghostgirl. Estaba en una banda de punk y aunque sí era un poco rebelde, afortunadamente nunca pasó a transgredir demasiado las reglas. Did you write at that time when you were young?
Did I write? I wrote songs and stuff like that. I was songwriting. But I didn't write a lot of stories or books, and I didn't think I would. I was a very creative person, and music was my life, and it's still a big part of my life. But I fell in love with, you know, writing when I got older.
And nowadays, do you still writing songs?
I write songs here and there. I just wrote a dark lullaby album, really dark, with my brother-in-law, Vince Clark, who does all the music for my stuff. But he started Depeche Mode and Erasure and Yaz. But I just wrote a really dark lullaby album with him. I don't know if it'll ever be released, but and I did write, you know, the Ghostgirl Lovesick song that's in the Ghostgirl trailer. So I do stuff like that. I love to make my own trailers for my books. I just like to do lots of different things.
And they are gorgeous, by the way.
So much. I just get bored doing, you know, one thing all the time. And like I said, I am a visual writer and a visual person. So that's really, it's fun for me to do those things.
But it's good to know that you get into the production of everything related to your books.
I never take a break.
Yeah. You're a workaholic, Tonya.
I know. I've become obsessed.
So for our next question, we want to know if there is a book that marked your life that was very important for you when you were young or at this moment of your life.
I think the books that I appreciated a lot were the Neil Gaiman books, and still do, because and also Neil Gaiman is an author and an artist, really, because he writes TV, you know, he has his hand in film, he does comics, he does graphics, he does novels for adults and kids, and I think I I like I like that he exists out there in the world and that I have an example like that. I'd like to see more women doing more things like that. But I myself try to emulate him in terms of his career and not being afraid to kind of take risks and chances.
Great. Also, another question. Do you have any bookworm habit?
Bookworm habit? Like my addiction to reading?
Yeah. Like any crazy thing you do while you're reading.
What do you do that's crazy? What do you both do?
Well, I mark every single one of the pages that have like a very important quote for me. So
Okay.
it's like I have this habit of marking all the pages and I can't avoid it.
Okay, that's a good one. And you, what do you do?
I put my name and the year that I read that book at the beginning to know which time I read that book.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so that's what you mean. I really have a problem with starting a book and moving on with my life until I finish that book. So it could be a real problem. I have to really make sure I have time to read the book. I don't like to read a few chapters at night, and then I will stay up literally until I finish that book. So that's a problem.
What was the last book that kept you awake all night?
I read A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. Do you know that book? Yeah, I love that. I loved it. I mean, it wasn't a hard book to get through, but I stayed up all night because I just had to finish it. So that was a great book.
And it's kind of your style, right? Like, it's kind of your mood.
Yeah, I think so a little bit. I do, and I think with Feathervane it's a little more similar because it's a fairy tale, and I think that A Monster Calls is much more of a fairy tale. So, yeah.
Is it hard for you to write, taking into account that you're a mother?
Yes and no. My daughter's in school all day, and but like I said, I get obsessed with things, and I need to write a lot once I'm in a story. Once my head is there, I stay there. I don't come out, and so I often shut myself up in the attic and to finish. But yeah, no, she's great now. It was harder when she was smaller, when she was a baby.
Nos contaba Tonya que cuando ella se obsesiona con algo, se obsesiona como fangirl, como muy intensa. Entonces, que ahora no es tan difícil siendo ella una mamá, porque su hija se la pasa prácticamente todo el día en la escuela, pero que cuando ella era pequeña era un poco más difícil, que ahorita incluso llega a encerrarse en el ático para poder escribir y terminar, pero que su hija es muy, muy accesible en ese tema. How do you fight with writer's block?
Writer's block, some writers say it doesn't exist. I am here to tell you that it does, for me at least. I get very depressed. It's a hard thing. It's a really, really, real hard thing for me to get through. But once I break it, I feel like I've, once I get over it, I feel like I conquered the world. But I feel like I'm just invincible, and I feel amazing. But it's like great, like wow, but when it's happening to me, it's hard. It's very hard.
But does the seed just disappear in the air, or how do you go through it?
I have to wait. I just sit it and I will write other things. I will write little short stories. I will, try to get away from it a little bit until the story comes back to me. But I try everything. Nothing really cures it. It's really I'm at the mercy of kind of the page, really, of the story, and when it works itself out in my brain, I guess. But yeah, it can be a hard thing to get through. Yeah.
Tonya nos comentaba que a pesar de lo que muchos piensan, el bloqueo de escritor sí existe y que aunque le cuesta algunas veces algo de trabajo porque puede deprimirse debido a este proceso, una vez que lo logra se siente súper poderosa y es maravilloso para justo el proceso creativo porque no solamente se envuelve en lo que está escribiendo en ese momento, sino que la ayuda el hecho de tener otras historias cortitas con las cuales trabajar. Tonya, do you have anywhere or fun experience that you would like to share about your readers, your fans? I don't know, maybe a crazy one?
An experience with a fan or just in general my life?
No, with your fans.
I don't know if there are any crazy things. I mean, I think that I wasn't prepared for the first time I came to Mexico. I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't prepared for how many people were in line, and really, I was like, oh, somebody's here. So there's a famous person. We're in the wrong place, and I wasn't prepared for that, and that was crazy. That was crazy for me, and something I will never forget. But I have lovely readers. I really have become friends with lots of my readers, and I try to be as open to them on Twitter and Facebook as I can be, and I answer every question, because if someone's going to take the time to write to me, I feel like I need to write them back, and I want to write them back. So really nothing crazy other than the amazing fan art I get. Is like, I feel like it's just amazing the time and effort and talent some of these readers have. It blows me away. That's something that that's my favorite part of this whole thing, is someone appreciating my work enough to go to that effort.
Fans de Tonya, no se desanimen. Si alguna vez tienen una pregunta, ella acaba de aclararnos que está encantada de responder todas y que si ustedes tienen el tiempo de escribirle y de dedicarle unos minutitos de su tiempo, ella con todo el gusto tendrá para responderles.
Y que incluso ella ha llegado a hacerse amiga de muchos de sus lectores. Entonces, si sueña con que su escritora favorita sea su amiga, sí se puede lograr. Un sueño que sí se vuelve realidad. And Tonya, another question, and I think this is really interesting. It's from... I lost it. Cindy, she asks, which is the biggest message you tried to share with the people with the trilogy of the Blessed?
I think that it's what I said about having faith in yourself first, and realizing that you're strong enough to save yourself as opposed to someone else saving you. I feel like it's a real... each of these characters are pretty much ordinary girls that find out there's something extraordinary inside them. And I would love if the reader could walk away with this idea that I am an ordinary person, but I have this thing inside me, this extraordinary thing inside me, and that they feel like they can overcome whatever is going on in their lives and make it.
What do you enjoy the most about writing the trilogy of the Blessed?
I enjoy writing their outfits, probably the whole fashion aspect of it. But I don't know. I just enjoyed exploring the topics that I explored. I enjoyed that I could make these girls be, ass kickers, and I said, this is kind of like a Quentin Tarantino take on Martyr Tales, and because they are so brutal in some aspects, and so I'm proud of that. I'm proud that I didn't hold back on anything in these books, even though I maybe people say maybe you should have, or but I'm proud that I didn't. I'm proud that they exist in the world the way they do. And yeah.
Awesome. Also, I think this is really interesting. Jimena asks if Sebastian was really in love with a specific girl of the three of them, or was just a truly special love for each one, or the three the same love. We don't know.
I think that's up to reader interpretation. I think he has something for each of these girls. But I mean, I think that if you read the whole trilogy, you'll walk away with a sense of who might have been, the one. But he did. I think he loves them each in different ways in the way they need.
Esa es una respuesta muy bella, chicos. Nos acaba de decir Tonya que Sebastián tiene un amor muy especial por cada una de ellas. Independientemente de la interpretación que le pueda dar cada uno de los lectores, hay una conexión especial con cada una de las chicas.
En la manera en la que cada una de ellas lo necesita. Y que si leen la trilogía seguramente ustedes van a descifrar si hay alguna en específico. Pero pues que también queda la interpretación del lector.
Exactamente. Tonya, if there were a movie about the blessed, do you have any actor in mind for the character of Sebastian? Because you just said that he is like super sexy and he has this.
I don't know. I don't know. I think he just. I don't know. I don't really have I don't have an actor in mind for him. I mean, I really don't. I did have, actresses in mind for the girls, but he was just something, there was something, that I didn't want him to be real to me. Like I wanted him, you know what I mean? I wanted him to be everything. And so it make him, and that's probably why what happens to him in the first book happens, because he's a fantasy.
And that's why he's unique.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get across. That's how he was for me in the book. So.
And you mentioned that you have in mind some actors for the girls. Can you share with us which were?
Well, when I was beginning, this was a few years ago. It was Elle Fanning was one. Who else did I have? I don't really remember, but Haley Steinfeld was one, and Chloe Moretz maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who I had in mind for Agnes. There were a whole list of actresses I had in mind when I was writing. But I think Elle Fanning for, that kind of innocence, beauty. I look to her for some of the traits.
Actually, when I saw the first cover, the cover of The Blessed, I thought it was Dakota Fanning, the one in the...
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was Amanda...
Seyfried.
Yes, she does look like her. That's actually a model from Lithuania named Karina, and she looks exactly like Amanda. So
that could work. Amanda could play her.
She could work. Yeah, I think so too. I think you're onto something.
We can start fargilling about it.
You're going to find a lot of fun arts in your Facebook soon.
Okay, great. I can't wait. Oh, I get so excited. I feel like it's Christmas morning. I honestly do. I love it.
Pamela wants to know, what was the purpose of the character of Finn?
Of who?
Oh, sorry, of Sebastian, when you start writing.
What was the purpose?
Yeah.
He was sort of a messenger. He was to tell them kind of what their duties were and if they would accept or not. I mean, I wanted these girls to kind of have the power to say yes or no and accept things for their own and not, be blindly following some guy that, shows up at the emergency room with a bracelet. But But yeah, I mean, he serves lots of purposes in this book. He's, like I said, he's really what, you know, desire and power, and he is a sexy character, but I wanted these girls to be the stars of these books, not a guy. So so he serves his purpose, but they're the ones who kind of go off and save the day, as you will.
Your power.
Yeah. Definitely.
Great. Regina asks, is there any topic or subject you would like to write soon?
Is there any other subject I'd like to write soon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many things I want to write. It takes a lot of time to write, so I wish it was faster. But yeah, I mean, I'm having a really good time writing Feathervane right now. Beyond that, I have about 4 or 5 ideas I'd like to kick around and see which one I fall in love with. But I'm writing little things as I go along, so we'll see. I mean, if anyone has any suggestions.
Okay, we have more questions. Do you have any message for the readers who hasn't read the Blessed trilogy?
Yeah, I think that the books are very different probably than anything you've ever read, and I feel like you know, if you read the books, you might walk away with not even just being entertained, which is why I write books first and foremost, to entertain, but maybe you might find something that you relate to in these books, or something inside you that you didn't know was there.
¿Lo ven, chicos? Al final de todo, si ustedes se atreven a leer The Blessed, seguramente encontrarán algo dentro de ustedes que desconocían hasta el momento. Porque como bien dice Tonya, no solamente escribe para entretener, sino también para que sus lectores puedan tener esa capacidad de descubrir cosas acerca de sí mismos.
Y también nos comenta que es un libro muy diferente, algo que nunca van a leer. Y creo que los dos estamos de acuerdo en que eso es completamente cierto. Es un libro muy diferente, algo que nunca van a leer en otro lado. Entonces, si no lo han hecho, denle la oportunidad. Also, Tonya, Andy wants to know if you are thinking of more trilogies or sagas or that kind of
I think, is this Andy whose birthday it is today? What's the last name?
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Andy. Happy birthday to you. Aw, yay. Okay, what did she ask, if there are any other trilogies or series in mind? Feathervane may turn into be a little bit of a more than one book. I'm not sure yet. Sort of like almost like an Edward Scissorhands kind of story going on. So that might bleed into 2 books. I'm not sure. We'll see.
So you don't plan your trilogies, they just appear? The story needs to be told in multiple books?
It was 100% planned. 100%. There was 3 books, 1 for each girl. I had the 3 girls. Everything was planned. Everything. But Ghostgirl was not. I mean, Ghostgirl was supposed to be 2 books, and I just kept writing and writing. Lovesick, and then, you know, Christmas Spirit, and the Day of the Dead book, and yeah, I mean, sometimes you can dictate how long a story is, and sometimes it dictates to you how long it is. So as I'm getting through Feathervane, I'm seeing that there might be more to the story, but we'll see.
Finally, Tonya, if you could describe the Blessed saga in 3 words, what would they be?
3 words would be badass. Is that a word? Badass. Inspirational, I guess, and shocking.
Totally agree with you.
Thank you, I think.
Mainly for the first word. And I think that's important because we need more strong women in literature.
I agree, and I set out to do that. And I support other women. I support my readers. I support stories out there and that's why I said that about Neil Gaiman. I would love to kind of be that female Neil Gaiman where I, write kind of anything and not be afraid. And I would love for my readers to get that message from me, that they can. And I have supported a few readers that have come to me and creative endeavors and asked for advice or things like that. So yeah, I totally agree. Ass-kicking women, more of them, please.
Finalmente nos dice Tonya que sí, es muy necesario que existan más heroínas fuertes dentro de la literatura y que justo es lo que ha estado tratando de hacer con su trilogía. El hecho de representar a estas chicas que tienen este poder, que no temen a nada y que incluso es con ello con lo que invita a sus fans de pronto a empoderarse, a no temer a hacer las cosas que ellos quieren y a salir adelante. Pues bueno, tenemos ya unos minutitos para una pregunta más. We have our final question, and we wanted to know, Tonya, do you have any kind of advice for the people who want to start writing?
Yeah, I feel like I mean the internet is a great thing, and it also can be a very difficult thing because people are very quick to criticize, and so you have to learn how to take criticism with, listen to it, I guess, but don't take it to heart. You have to write the story that you want to write. You have to write the story that you want to read, and don't listen to other people, because at the end of the day, it's your name on the work, and it's your body of work, and you should be proud of it. And that's also why I feel like there are some writers who write things that because they know they'll sell, and I feel like I would like my readers to kind of write things that you don't think about the end. You just write because you love what you're doing.
And well, we have actually one more question. Have you thought of a crossover between Ghostgirl and The Blessed?
A crossover?
Yeah.
That's great. No, I have not. And I'm thinking now how that would work. I guess Charlotte would show up. It's in Brooklyn in one of their ecstasy. I don't know. That's a really great question, and not sure if that would ever happen. But that's pretty funny. That's what I'm thinking about all night now.
Yeah, Charlotte meeting the girls. We don't know what will happen, but it will be great.
Maybe if the movie comes out and there's a TV show, she can guest star on the TV show and be the guest that week.
The special guest.
Yeah, special guest, Charlotte.
And now, the last question: which book are you currently reading?
Reading. I'm not reading a book right now. I just finished Ali Condi's Summer Lost. She's a good friend of mine, and I love that book. But I'm not currently reading one at this moment because I'm really writing Feathervane, and I feel like if I read other people's work while I'm writing, subconsciously, who knows? So I stay away from books while I'll read biographies and stuff like that, but I'm not really reading a novel right now.
That's great.
Well, Tonya, our time is over, but it was a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you both so very much. You were the most excellent hosts. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Even though that we were a little bit nervous, we really enjoyed our time with you.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it so much. Thank you to my publisher and everyone there for all their hard work too. Thank you both.
Yeah, we hope to talk to you again soon. Thank you for all your inspiration, your books, everything. We love you here. We hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much. I'd love to meet you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Y bueno, antes de terminar, nada más recordarles rápido que en las redes de Me Gusta Leer México va a haber un concurso para que se ganen unos libros autografiados por Tonya. Entonces, si quieren ganar, si quieren una oportunidad para ganar estos libros, no dejen de seguir las redes sociales. Va a ser Twitter.
En Twitter tendrán todas las bases. Así que es una oportunidad única.
Facebook and Twitter, yes. And I think there's a giveaway on Twitter right now, right? Correct?
Yeah,
yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I better get it on.
Como decía bien Tonya, nuestro concurso estará dando comienzo en breve, así que no se pierdan de las redes de Me Gusta Leer, específicamente de Twitter.
Y también a Tonya, si gustan seguirla en Twitter y en Facebook. Ya nos comentó que contesta todo lo que le quieran preguntar. Y bueno, muchas gracias por acompañarnos. Gracias a Estela, ya Me Gusta Leer.
Lo mismo digo, Erik. Muchísimas gracias.
Bye.